The unthinkable happens. A missile loaded with chemical weapons hits an Israeli country club. Army units tend to the wounded and decontaminate the scene. This is the type of scenario the Israeli army prepares for all the time, but it's taken on a new importance because of the conflict in neighboring Syria. The exercise, part of a 5-day nationwide annual readiness drill.
It will not always be perfect, but it is possible to defend Israel's citizens. This is what today's drill is about, and this is what we will continue to do in the months and years ahead.
This year's theme, preparing for an unconventional weapons attack, as evidence grows that chemical agents have been used in Syria. It seems like it's taking on a new importance because of the conflict in Syria.
We are not scared, but we have to take into consideration every kind of scenario. And of course, when the situation in Syria is unstable, we must practice more and more.
Air raid sirens sound across the country, a signal for these students to practice taking cover. Teacher Orit Navan says she is prepared, but still frightened.
Though we are well practiced and strong, we are still talking about people. The unknown does not make it easy. We are not calm at all.
For 2 years, Israel has kept a hands-off policy towards the civil war in Syria. But as the conflict escalates, it's finding itself drawn into Syria's turmoil. Israeli forces on high alert in the Golan Heights. A 40-year relative calm along the ceasefire line between the two countries, now shaky.
We will defend ourselves, and we will react to any threat. And I hope that the regime in Syria understands this.
Last month, Israel launched a pair of airstrikes on weapon shipments allegedly being sent by the Syrian regime to Hezbollah, and returned fire when Syria hit an Israeli military vehicle it said crossed into its territory. The Syrian regime said it's ready for a confrontation with Israel. Soon it will have a batch of Russian missiles that could reach Tel Aviv. The Israeli public remains unfazed. Most people here ignored this week's sirens, and almost half of them don't own a gas mask, even as talk of chemical weapons grows.
If I want to live my life and be happy, I cannot think always what will happen next minute. The missile will come down.
A sense of fatalism that comes from living in a tough neighborhood. Elise Labott, CNN, Jerusalem.